the just energy transition, you know, one of the things that's happened is a bit of dichotomy in the way that this conversation has been framed. We've seen a lot of the Western countries have pushed for an energy transition model, and energy transition policies for us to be able to meet our climate targets, global climate targets, and to keep the 1.5 ceiling when it comes to carbon emission, to keep all of that under the 1.5 ceiling. But, you know, since the Ukraine war started, we've seen a lot of rollback by Western countries in terms of their own energy transition plan and their carbon targets. And what that has done is it has shifted the conversation a lot in many other African countries around whether they should continue to do their energy transition plans and their modeling it after the West, or whether they should take into account their own local peculiarities. As a result of that, when now that a lot of countries are drafting their own energy transition plans, what they are now doing is to look at, you know, what their own local context is. In Nigeria, because we have huge gas deposits, the government has in its wisdom said that they're going to use gas as a short-term transition. And this has sort of negated some of the arguments around should we go use more renewables like wind or even geothermal, which were also options at the time. But you're seeing that debate has shifted the discourse. And then the question is also, how then do you transition the oil producing communities? What are you transitioning them to? Because for the longest time, you know, the oil has been, or the gas has been their livelihood, their source of livelihood, and their economic realities in their communities. And so for these energy transition plans that are emerging, it's now on a country by country basis, all still looking at the 1.5 ceiling, all setting ambitious targets. I think what then needs to be done is to go and domicile these energy transition plans in municipalities and local governments, and then have them try to implement it in their own way. There's a lot of work to be done on implementation when it comes to the ETP, and that's where we need to keep our gaze on and our focus on.